I want to frame this properly before anything else. What I do and have been doing for a few years now is put crypto platforms through extended real-world use and report back on what that actually looks like. Not a walkthrough of the marketing page, but real consequences when something doesn't perform the way it's supposed to. And the space I've been most deep in recently is crypto-backed loans, the mechanics of pledging assets to secure a loan while leaving the position itself completely intact. So today I want to cover the model itself, the specific liquidity advantage it creates over a standard exchange. Before, everything needed to configure a loan lives in this calculator right here, all inputs in one place. The first thing I'm setting is the collateral asset. And worth noting immediately, the supported asset list here was clearly built around what actually matters in the market. BTC, ETH, BNB, SOL, assets with deep liquidity, broad market participation, and price history long enough to actually inform a risk assessment.
Practically, what that means for me is I'm working with positions I already carry, no preliminary conversion required. And the breadth of the list gives me genuine flexibility when I'm deciding how to structure something, or when the market moves in a direction that calls for adjustment. Here, I choose USDT. Okay, then I type in the collateral amount. Yeah, that's the right number for what I'm setting up today. Next, I choose the token I want to borrow, going with BNB this time. Then the loan term, meaning the specific duration I need this contract to run. And after that, I want to actually spend a moment. LTV expresses the relationship between the borrowed amount and the value of the collateral securing the loan. Each asset has a hard ceiling on how far that relationship can be pushed, and the reason that ceiling matters is what happens when it's breached. The platform liquidates the collateral automatically to recover the loan value. So when I'm arriving at this number, I'm asking myself a few things. What has this asset's price behavior looked like over the past several weeks, and what kind of drawdown is plausible from where it's currently trading? Okay, I press proceed, and we land on the next screen. So the very first thing I do here is lock down my contract ID somewhere safe. The platform is now queued up, waiting on the collateral transaction from my end to activate the contract. Wallet Connect would automate this step, but I want the full manual sequence visible.
Okay, now my transaction is live on the network. Platform registers it once the block confirms. All right, confirmed. So this is the full contract record, every rate, every term, every number that governs this loan going forward. Let me verify each figure against what I put in. Yep, everything maps exactly to what I configured. So next step, I enter my receiving address where the USDT is going to be delivered. Okay, that's in. Watching for the incoming transfer. Good. Tokens landed, balance updated, platform completed its obligations under the contract. And now I want to make sure this part is clear because it's integral to how the system actually functions day to day. This is the loan dashboard, and the contract ID I saved a minute ago is the specific access point into it. For the entire time this loan is active, this is the environment I operate from, watching the position, responding to market movement, making any adjustments the situation requires. It's not something that just runs on its own in the background. It's something I actively manage from this screen throughout the contract period. So, collateral lending is one of those concepts that gets filed under complicated crypto stuff before people give it a fair hearing. And that's a shame because the core mechanic is genuinely simple, and once it registers, the reason it's useful becomes almost self-evident. Here's the actual structure. I lock tokens into a contract as collateral by the terms of the smart contract, and in return, the platform releases a loan in a separate asset against that collateral value. And what's central to understanding why this matters is what doesn't happen. My original position doesn't move. The tokens are still mine. I haven't sold anything. I haven't reduced my market exposure by a single unit. I'm still entirely in that asset and still benefit from wherever it goes while the loan is running.
When the contract expires and I repay the loan, the collateral is returned. Here, I stay in the position and I still walk out with the capital I needed from it. And when you put those two options directly next to each other, the collateral model isn't just an alternative, it's a structurally different answer to what it means to access value from something you're holding for the long term. So I want to be direct about why I describe it that specifically, rather than just saying it held up. Because a platform holding up across varied market conditions is a different statement than a platform holding up in a 2-week window. The evidence base is different, the range of conditions tested is different, and that's the version of a track record I actually trust enough to build a public opinion on. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.